Marax, the 21st spirit of the Goetia, starting with the traditional interpretation of Marax, then moving on to my own workings. Marax is depicted as a bull with a man's face. It's associated with astronomy and liberal sciences. Rank is Earl and President. Strongest on the 13th of October, 22nd of October. Zodiac is Libra. Direction is West. Tower is the Four of Swords. Planet is Mars. Metal is Iron. Element, Earth and Water. Color is red. Plant, Elder. Incense, Dragon's Blood. Chant, Kaymen, Vefa, Marax. Benefits working with Marax: knowledge in astronomy and sciences, herbs and stones, and help you open up to the divine order of the universe. This is very, very important, and we'll get to why this is one of the most profound spirits that I've worked with yet. So Four of Swords. So this is truths. So these are four different energies in the mind coming to balance. So there's different elements within the mind itself coming to balance. We've got these different balancing, the past, the future, the present, what we should do. And so this comes to balance in four. So we get truce. Peace of mind. Obviously related to Jupiter. In fact, this is Jupiter's sphere. So some associate Marax with the Minotaur because of the bull. I actually see Marax as almost like a reverse Minotaur, because the Minotaur is a bull on a man's body. This is a man's face on a bull's body. So I didn't really see it that way. A lot of magicians are reporting that Marax is Maat, the Egyptian goddess of divine order. So associated with morality and the order, the harmonious order of the universe, how the universe is intact. So when we die, our heart is put on a weighing scale, and Maat takes this ostrich feather and weighs it against our heart. And if our heart is as light as a feather, we move on to heaven. And if not, we get devoured by a beast. So this is a very, this is a very interesting goddess to work with. So when I was working with Maat, Marax, I saw as Marax is almost like Maat's pet. So people say Marax is Maat. I felt like Marax was like bringing me to Maat. Like Marax is like the parody version of Maat that brings you to Maat. In Egyptian culture, it's very common to sacrifice bulls and cattle to the gods. In fact, one of Maat's laws is to do not steal cattle that is meant to be for the gods. So it's the only connection to a bull I could find. But very instantly, I was like, boom, yeah, definitely, this is Maat. Maat is also the feminine counterpart of, the consort of Thoth. The Egyptian pantheon doesn't really work like how we now in the West view masculine and femininity. Feminine characters have completely different traits to what we associate with being feminine. So I see this when I see the order and harmony of the universe, and justice. This is more like divine universal justice, as opposed to how human beings think justice should be. So it's justice that you receive, which is feminine, as opposed to justice that we create, which would be masculine. say Jupiter is like a masculine form of justice because it's justice that we're creating. So there's quite a big setup, and um, I wanted I will. There's quite a big. I set up shop to have a big, massive, full blown experience. I just wanted to crack the divine order of the universe. So offered grapes and a chili. Grapes to me is representing virtue. Chili for a bit of kick. There's a red in the Mars influence. Because Mars can be associated with a very righteous form of justice. I didn't have elderflower, but I had a drink using elderflower. And I had music tools because I was doing chanting and using the shamanic drum. And then later I recorded myself doing the chanting and the drumming. So I channeled it with shamanic drumming. And then I took the recording and I added more music and electronics and electronic sound to the recording, which a bit hesitant to show you because it's really psychedelic. So I did see a bull, and very quickly Maat came to me, flew up, and showed me the universe as this golden matrix, just seeing the universe as perfectly ordered. And so while I was thinking of the divine order as in how the universe is ordered, Ma'at was able to show me, and this is really important, really, really profound, that the order of things that happen, the way that we do things, we do one thing, the other. If we overthink things and trying to get a better result than what's going to happen, that can cause stress and anxiety. So just letting go and trusting the divine order, we just allow things to happen the way it should be, as opposed to the way we want it to be in order to get a better experience. What I understand now working with Ma'at is like this, oh yeah, but how could things be better? You know, like if I do this other thing, and if I do it this way, this is making me less present and ultimately just creating extra pain and suffering in my life. And it's better just to, we can ask, how can things be better or whatever, we can improve things, but stressing about it, it's like if I'm doing something and I'm trying to work out to make it better, I'm actually reducing my experience. So it'd be better to, because when I was doing this ritual, I was like, oh, how could I improve my setup? And I was no longer in the ritual. So that took me out of it, so I had to go back into it. And I was like, okay, cool. So when I'm doing things, if I grant myself to take time out to improve myself, that's better. But if I'm spending my entire day trying to work out how to improve my life, I'm not living. It's better just letting go and just receiving the divine order into the body. So I'm very appreciative of working with the spirit, keeping the seal in my room or in the middle of my living room. I'm thinking of getting a permanent altar for Maat because it was quite profound. Kaymen, Vefa, Marax.